Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Anthony, and we are the channelers, healers, and voices behind Blue Soul Earth. We connect to higher levels of consciousness to bring forth divine energies to teach ancient wisdom and to heal.
These energies that we access from higher dimensions largely consist of the ascended masters that humanity across cultures know really well. They are many, but they speak collectively as one voice. And for the sake of simplicity, we simply call them our spirit team.
And how we channel as a couple is quite unique. Divine energies come through Renee's crown chakra, through her solar plexus, and into my solar plexus chakra, through my crown chakra, and back up. And it forms a three-dimensional triangle, which is used to teach and to heal.
Now these energies flow back and forth, a bit like an infinity eight. And the symbolism behind why and how this happens is pretty profound.
It's accessing divine feminine energies and divine masculine energies and weaving them together as one energy to teach and to heal.
Now, for our Blue Soul Wisdom series, we're actually going to be channeling different topics in roughly 10 to 15 minute segments.
So if you're just starting out on your spiritual journey,
or if you'd simply like to access higher levels of consciousness,
or you would like to take your healing practice to the next level,
then join us.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Anthony.
And I'm Renee, and we're here this evening to talk about something that Anthony and I know very little about. Sacred geometry. It's a discussion that comes up occasionally when we channel our guides. It comes into various conversations around spirituality and higher consciousness. It's related to Metatron, those of you who are into the angelic realm, the Akashic Records. It's connected to the way that the universe is designed. Knowing that Anthony and I, know very little about it, what we're going to do is bring forth our guides to see what they can share. How does sacred geometry potentially connect to what's happening with the coronavirus, or in fact any deadly virus or plague, if you like, that inflicts humanity? And is there a connection at all? There must be, right? So let's find out.
Okay.
So we're going to call in our guides and see what they have to say. And they're so strong and they're so interconnected to who we are. There is no separation. There's no you and me. There's no God, goddess, universal consciousness, and me. We are all one. We are all connected. We are all part of the whole. And so we've talked about different things.
Yes, you have, haven't you?
Including the ripple effect, which probably plays into this. But
we are your spiritual guides. It is always an honor and privilege to be in your presence, Gaia.
Thanks for showing up.
We are always here. We are never that far away. As there is nothing that is too busy for us not to be with you.
We've read a couple of books on sacred geometry, but we are far, far, far from scholars. So I was thinking there has to be some connection between sacred geometry and the coronavirus.
We will tell you this. Wherever there is sacred geometry, there are numbers, aren't there?
There are indeed.
Every form, every being, every frequency can be arranged in a number. That is, you are good at numbers. If you want, you can take every viral infection and every disease and break it down into a frequency, and then break that down even more into a certain code, and break that code down into numbers. And with that code, you will arrange it into a sacred or a certain
shape.
Yes, a certain shape that will give you another frequency, the same frequency, but it will show itself in a form. See, with every disease, you can change it and manipulate it into whatever you want. Whether it be sacred geometry or whether it be a sacred figure, you can break it down into a frequency and then break the numbers down. Break it into a pattern of numbers.
And I'm sure our scientists are looking at that.
Yes, they are. Just like your DNA is broken into different number patterns, and it has a certain form. And within every form of sacred geometry, there are codes. And within each code, there are numbers and patterns. Your scientists have been able to break the patterns to these specific codes that make up all of these different types of diseases. And you have friends that have shown you that.
In Japan.
Yes, of course. They have broken down every disease into a specific number pattern of ones and zeros. In the very first place, you should notice it in nature. Every place you go in nature is sacred geometry. Every flutter of a bird's wings, of a bee's wings, the shape of a flower, the shape of a stone, the shape of a piece of grass. Find the sacred geometry in all of nature first. After that, you can take the nature and you will find it in man-made objects as well. It's everywhere you go, even the necklace that you're wearing, even the beads that he wears, even the sacred geometry that's around his neck. Take sacred geometry and make it yours. Whatever you resonate to it the most, make it a part of who you are. Bless it, if you choose.
If someone resonates with a particular shape, or the way that a shape moves, or the way that it connects, is there something that they can learn from that about their soul?
Now you ask us a difficult question, don't you? Let us tell you this. If you feel that you are connected to the earth, and that you love the water, the dirt, the stones, the sky, and the trees, there you will find sacred geometry in nature. Within that sacred geometry, where do you think your soul is then? What do you think its prime energy is? Most likely it will be of the elemental energies, isn't it? If, however, you find yourself connected to things that are otherworldly, the stars,
Yes.
the shapes, the colors, then it is most likely, too, that you are of a galactic energy.
From a soul perspective, does that mean, it must mean, I suppose, that our souls are made up of sacred geometry?
Your soul is made up of a frequency. You can take that frequency and arrange it in any form and pattern that you choose. You can create any type of sacred geometry that you choose to represent. So yes, you're correct. But it is up to you to choose the sacred geometry that you want to create. All geometric patterns are sacred. All things are sacred.
Including the geometric pattern of a virus.
Yes, of course, that too is a sacred pattern. Soon your scientists will find the sacred geometry pattern of your COVID-19. And what they will do is they will create a serum, injection that would allow your body to create antibodies to it. You see, in all things that appear to be bad, it is actually good. It is a viral infection that you will never get again.
So you might get it again.
But not in the same way.
Right.
Your body will have built beautiful sacred geometries in your body that will be able to warn you that it's coming.
And so in that way, is there the ability, as I was asking, to know that something like this is coming in the future and to prepare for it in better ways?
Yes, there is. The way to prepare for it is not to prepare for it. The reason you're preparing for it now is because of where you are in your vibrational patterns. The way not to prepare for it is to be of love, to be of kindness, and to feel your self-love, and to feel your oneness with all things. When you start to feel that and sense that and become that, there will be no need to fight against viral infections, because there will be none.
Because our vibrational frequencies will be
Won't-
strong enough to just diffuse it.
Yes.
Almost like a bright light diffusing a negative energy that can't get close.
In a sense, we're telling you this. There will be no more frequencies or vibrational patterns that are not of the light. As a result, there will be nothing that is not of the light. Do you understand what we're saying?
I do. It's like the cause and effect again.
Yes,
that
of
you
course.
bring into your field where you are and where humanity is. And if humanity is in a current state of consciousness, that's what it's going to create both in the environment and the planet and how she begins to look, as well as the government leaders that we voted, as an example.
If you say so, yes. But you are correct.
It's mirror matching, right?
It truly is.
If we're in a certain state of consciousness, that's what's going to come into our field.
That is what you will receive. If you are in a consciousness of love, then it is love is the only thing that will come back to you. And won't that be the day when that occurs here?
We certainly know, right, that if you give love to water, and if you give love to even an illness, it heals. It's
Yes.
been shown that scientifically.
You will
so.
see the vibrational patterns, the sacred geometry within the water molecules of how you change.
If you give the water hate, it changes accordingly.
Yes, you will see that as well.
And if you give the water love, it also changes accordingly.
Yes. And what are your bodies made mostly of?
Water.
There are no coincidences, are there?
No.
And with that, we will take leave. It is always an honor and privilege to be in your presence, Gaia.
Lovely to see you guys. Thanks for coming through about a topic we know so little about.
We join the sacred feminine energies with the sacred masculine energies to form a beautiful pattern of sacred geometry. Thank you. We send you love
We send you love.
from above.
And from this plane.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. So they will take leave now. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for receiving us.
Energy is a little stronger than normal, but they leave fairly quickly compared to the early days. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you again.
We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye now.